My name is Sandra, I am 16 years old, and I attend what is supposed to be a prestigious high school. But lately it feels more like a circus. Just one step into the school hallway that morning, and I could already hear all kinds of whispers buzzing around. I was confused, wondering what had happened this time. My best friend Benjamin was leaning against his locker, looking completely unbothered. He asked if I had forgotten that it was Monday. I let out a heavy sigh, immediately wary. I asked him who the unlucky victim was this week. Before he could answer, Mary, my other best friend, suddenly appeared and cheerfully interrupted us. She announced that it was Dorothy, eager to show us the embarrassing deed the resident mean girl had done. She shoved her phone right in my face. It was a photo of Dorothy on a date with some old rich guy. Ben and I had absolutely zero interest in those kinds of things, but the rest of the students clearly felt differently. I hadn't even finished my thought when a group of kids ran past us, shouting that they had spotted her. This was the third Monday in a row that our school had turned into a chaotic gossip zone. 3 weeks ago, out of nowhere, a bunch of random QR codes appeared stuck to some of the lockers. Curious, we scanned them and got access to a mysterious blog by someone calling themselves The Quiet Knight. They claimed they wanted to expose the true face of our prestigious school, promising that every Monday at 2 a.m. they would reveal someone's dirty secret. The first secret belonged to the beloved basketball team captain Louis. It turned out he had flunked the last match on purpose just so the rival school where his secret girlfriend attended would win. At first, everyone doubted it, but then someone found the girlfriend's Twitter, where she had posted a celebration photo of the two of them. Everything became clear as day. Louis immediately lost his captain title, and the entire school canceled him. While everyone was still buzzing about that, the next Monday's secret dropped. It targeted Mr. Worthing, our popular math teacher. His classes were known for their top performances, but the blog revealed that he had always accidentally leaked the questions to his students before every exam. The rumor reached the principal, who immediately had people look into it. Unfortunately, it was true, and Worthing was fired. And now, as I just found out, little Miss Dorothy was the third unfortunate victim. To be honest, she definitely hadn't been the nicest girl. She was a nightmare to all the new kids, often bossing them around and picking on them. So when her shameful secret was revealed, everyone seemed somewhat satisfied and talked about it non-stop. Mary was no exception, especially since Dorothy was her main rival for the school's queen bee status. At lunchtime, we walked into the cafeteria and immediately noticed something weird. Nobody was lining up for food. Instead, everyone was standing around staring at a specific table. It turned out Dorothy was sitting there all by herself, not wanting to miss an opportunity to kick her longtime rival while she was down. Mary rushed straight over to her table. She loudly mocked Dorothy, asking what was wrong, and sneeringly inquiring if her bald lover hadn't taken her out to lunch that day. As soon as the words left Mary's mouth, the entire cafeteria burst into laughter. Seeing the furious look on Dorothy's face, Benjamin and I knew this was about to explode. So we grabbed Mary and literally dragged her out of the room to avoid a scene. Once we were outside on the school grounds, Mary broke free from our grip. She was annoyed, demanding to know what we were doing and complaining that she wasn't finished yet. Benjamin told her firmly that what she did wasn't cool and suggested we just stay out. But Mary wasn't having it. She insisted that Dorothy deserved every bit of it. She turned to me and pointedly asked if I had forgotten what a horrible person Dorothy was, reminding me of exactly how she used to pick on me. I forced a smile and didn't say much, but in my head I knew she was right. It was true. I was actually one of Dorothy's victims when I first arrived at this school. Back then, Benjamin and Mary were the ones who stepped in and stood up for me while Dorothy was messing with me. That moment was actually how our friendship started. Ever since then, we had been the iconic trio of the smartest kids at school. It was a pretty sweet setup. However, the recent dramas were undeniably affecting our study. It felt like students were coming to school just to gossip. They kept chatting during class, making it extra hard to concentrate. I tried to focus on my work, but I was getting sick of the person next to me constantly patting my shoulder to ask me to pass notes. Monday mornings quickly became the biggest event in school. Everyone looked forward to it, constantly guessing who the next chosen one would be as the embarrassing secrets continued seeping out. We found out that Justin, who looked cool chewing gum all the time, actually did it to mask a bad breath problem. We learned that hardworking Julia bought her essays off the internet. And shockingly, the parking lot car spray painter turned out to be none other than Goody Two-Shoes Brandon. It became apparent that any one of us could be next. People started to panic, praying that their names wouldn't be mentioned. Every Monday morning, I arrived at school to see everyone looking like zombies because they had all stayed up all night waiting for the Quiet Knight's post. I realized the mystery blogger had to be one of us to know all these personal secrets, which made everyone extra cautious of each other. It was a mess and I knew it had to stop. I told Mary we needed to figure out who the Quiet Knight was, but she wasn't convinced. She dismissively asked how we were supposed to find them when there were zero clues. She told me to stop wasting time and just focus on studying. I argued that there was no way the blogger didn't leave any trace, and insisted that we just had to stand up together. Mary interrupted me, saying that if I wanted to do it, I should just do it alone. She asked what was wrong with me, pointing out that I was usually the first one to avoid dramas like these. I shot back that I was worried because we could be next. Mary looked stunned for a second, but then quickly regained her composure. She stammered that she wasn't scared because she had nothing to hide, then turned around and left in a sulky manner. Mary might not have cared about catching the culprit, but I definitely did. That night, I sat on my bed sketching out a relationship diagram, trying desperately to piece the clues together. I was so focused that I lost track of time until a notification popped up on my phone. I realized it was already 2 a.m. With a sinking feeling, I pressed the screen to see who the victim was this week. It was Mary. My stomach dropped. It was exactly what I feared. The secret about her background had been revealed. The blog exposed that her parents weren't successful business owners, and that she wasn't the rich heiress she always pretended to be. I had accidentally found this out a while ago when I saw her bargaining over rent in front of a small house in the suburb. When I asked her about it back then, she had gotten incredibly defensive, claiming that if people knew the truth, they would laugh in her face. I never wanted to hurt her, so I had kept her secret safe. But now, everyone had found out in the worst way possible. The next day, Benjamin and I saw Mary walking toward us in the hallway. She looked exhausted, and everyone's eyes were glued to her. I heard a boy loudly wondering how she was able to afford her flashy outfits, while a girl sneered that the blogger said she always wore cheap secondhand clothes. Hearing those cruel words, Benjamin and I shot the bully's death stares and rushed over to get Mary out of the crowd. But instead of letting us help, she suddenly snapped at me. She accused me of being behind all of this. I was stunned and started stuttering, asking her what she meant and why I would ever do something like that. But Mary interrupted me. She shouted that I was the only one who knew her secret, so if it wasn't me, who else could it be? She burst into tears and declared in front of everyone that I was the quiet knight. Her accusation quickly caught everyone's attention, and I felt their curious eyes fixing on us. Benjamin tried to defend me, reminding Mary that I was the one who had called on everyone to find the culprit in the first place. But Mary was certain. She claimed that my investigation was clearly just a distraction to fool everyone. She went on to explain her reasoning, pointing out that the blogger only ever typed in lowercase, just like I always did, and mentioned my well-known habit of staying up late. To make matters even worse, the following Monday, the blogger suddenly stopped posting. This convinced everyone that Mary was right, and that I had stopped because I was caught. I was instantly labeled a traitor and treated like a disease. Everywhere I went, people bad-mouthed me, and no one except Benjamin wanted to sit by me at lunch. I wasn't even allowed in the library anymore, because my presence caused too much of a disturbance. Worst of all, even the teachers started to hate me. Even the teachers started bullying me. One time in math class, I volunteered to solve a difficult equation, hoping to get back to normal. Instead of acknowledging my answer, the teacher made a sarcastic comment in front of everyone. He said that if only I used my intelligence for studying instead of messing up other people's lives, things would be different. The whole class heartlessly laughed in my face. The tension was absolutely draining me, so I stepped out to take a breather. When I returned to the classroom after recess, I found a box sitting inside my desk drawer. My heart pounded in panic. It was a stack of old love letters I had written for Louis, the basketball captain. Yes, I used to have a huge crush on him a long time ago, but I never actually sent the letter. I had hidden them deep in the corner of my locker. I couldn't understand how they ended up here. I wondered if the creepy quiet knight was messing with me again. I decided enough was enough. I had to unmask this jerk immediately. Later that afternoon, I sat alone on a bench in the schoolyard, trying to figure out who had the ability to spy on people undetected. My thoughts were interrupted when a smug-looking Dorothy appeared with her friend. As they walked past, Dorothy loudly commented to her group, making sure I could hear. She said she couldn't believe I was the coward who destroyed what I couldn't have, adding that it was too bad Louis ended up involved in my mess. One of her friends chimed in, calling me a pathetic little girl who didn't even have the guts to send her letter. Did they just mention the letters? I immediately stood up and demanded to know what on earth they were talking about. Dorothy turned to me and smirked. She asked if there was any mistaking my handwriting, then held up her phone to show me a bunch of photos of my private letter. It hit me then. She was taking revenge on me because she thought I was the snitch who exposed her dating news. They didn't even give me a chance to explain. They just laughed and walked away, continuing to mock me. I couldn't face going back to school to be tormented for something I didn't even do, so I faked being sick to stay home. A whole week passed, and I still didn't feel any better. I was sitting on the couch in my living room when I suddenly heard a strange sound by the window. I turned and saw someone throwing a small stone at the glass. It was Benjamin. He called out to me, pleading with me to stop hiding away. He insisted that I couldn't let them beat me because I was better than this. I felt hopeless and asked him what else I could do since everyone was already already convinced it was me. Benjamin simply told me to follow him because he knew someone who could help. I followed Benjamin to a cafe where he introduced me to Max, a quiet guy known as the school's IT genius. Benjamin was convinced Max could help identify the anonymous blog. After just a few minutes of typing away on his laptop, Max actually managed to track down the IP address. But when he showed us the location, my jaw dropped. It led straight to Mary's house. I stared at the screen in disbelief, stammering that it made no sense and insisting that I had to talk to Mary right away. But Benjamin stopped me. He told me to calm down and sternly warned me not to say a word about this to anyone yet. He said to just let him take care of it. I had no clue what he was planning. Days went by with no news until he suddenly insisted I come watch a basketball game with him. I didn't see the point, arguing that showing my face there would just give everyone another chance to mock me. While I was sitting there immersed in my gloomy thoughts, Benjamin's voice suddenly boomed over the loudspeakers. He announced to the entire sports hall that he was the quiet knight. He casually apologized, claiming he had just started the blog to entertain everyone after boring study hours, but realized it wasn't fun anymore, so he stopped. The entire gym started buzzing. A boy from the crowd shouted out, asking if it was really him. Benjamin was about to reply when Mary suddenly jumped out from the bleachers, looking frantic. She hurried over, shouting that it couldn't be him and telling him to stop wasting time protecting me. In her panic, she slipped up, asking how he could know where my love letters were kept, or the details of Dorothy's secret. Benjamin's face turned serious. He stared her down and asked her to tell everyone who knew those things then. Mary looked completely taken aback. She started muttering but couldn't answer. That was when Dorothy stepped in. She pointed an accusing finger at Mary and revealed that it was Mary who had given her the key to my lock, so it really was her. I was still holding on to a tiny hope that Max had made a mistake, but this confirmed it. I reluctantly asked Mary why she did it, saying I didn't understand. She looked at me insolently and snapped that of course I didn't, because I wasn't in her shoes. The truth finally came pouring out. It turned out Mary created the blog solely to get revenge on Louis. He had always told Mary he wanted to date in secret to avoid prying eyes, but that was just an excuse so he could cheat on her with other girls. That was news to both Benjamin and me. Another girl in the crowd interrupted, asking what the math teacher had done to deserve it. Mary smirked and said he had no work ethic. She explained that she always studied hard, but he had dismissed her effort, telling her that girls like her only cared about their appearance and accusing her of copying off Benjamin and me. Then she turned to Dorothy, sneering that she deserved it for her arrogant habit of bossing newbies around. After venting her anger, Mary blatantly walked away from the crowd as if she had nothing to do with the drama she caused. I tried to chase after her, but I was stuck in the middle of the angry students. In the following days, Mary still came to school, but everyone isolated her. Benjamin and I tried to approach her, but she went out of her way to avoid us. Finally, we decided to follow her after school. We saw her heading into the cafeteria not to buy food, but to put on an apron and help the lunch lady clean up. I walked up to her while she was wiping tables and told her to stop pushing us away. I reminded her that she still had a friend in me, but she insisted that I deserved an explanation. She finally sighed, sat down, and told us everything. She admitted she would have stopped after exposing the 3 people she hated, but seeing everyone eagerly waiting for news every Monday gave her a rush of power, so she kept digging for dirt. When things started getting serious, she panicked and needed a scapegoat. She chose me because I was the one who first suggested tracking the blogger down, but there was more to it. She confessed she was angry with me for finding out her secret about being poor. On top of that, she had been jealous for a long time. Jealous that I got better grades than her, and envious that I was closer to Benjamin. She admitted she just felt outshone and left out. I looked at her sadly and asked if she really hated me enough to expose her own deep secret just to frame me. Mary looked surprised for a moment, then reached out and took my hand. She hurriedly assured me it wasn't like that and apologized profusely. She explained that she felt she had to act like a rich girl just to be worthy of Louis, but now that she knew he was a jerk, she felt there was no point in keeping up the charade anymore, and she lowered her head in shame. Benjamin and I leaned over and hugged her tight. We told her it was all okay, promising that as long as we were honest from now on, we could sort everything out together. After that, we rolled up our sleeves and helped her clean up the messy cafeteria table. That was when we found out something incredible. The lunch lady was actually Mary's mother. She had been the unintentional source of all the gossip, simply passing on the petty secrets she heard while serving lunch. Mary had hidden this fact for so long, but after being exposed, she decided to stop chasing the popular girl title and just be herself. Watching her work hard, I realized how exhausting it must have been for her to live up to those expectations. I knew deep down she had a good heart. After all, she was the one who befriended me when I was the new kid. Now the semester full of drama is finally over. We are currently sitting in a quiet coffee shop, frantically revising for finals week. We still compete with each other, but this time it's fair and square. We decided that whoever gets the lowest score has to take the other two out for dinner. I'm already dreaming of the free food because I am definitely not going to lose.